You are watching GMODISM. This is your host Eric, and we are gonna do some Gimle battles. If you're new here for some reason, well, the Gimle battles is a series of battles with the winners against the Gimle. So I built a big battleship called the Gimle class. It's pretty strong, so half of the contestants sent in did not win over it, and the other half did win. About. So basically, here we have two designs submitted by Imp. Imp has submitted a lot of beautiful designs for this tournament, and this is the frog, which you can see here, the ISF frog, and this is the ISF Quetzal. And before we do this battle, we're gonna refresh ourselves a little bit on what these ships are. So we have 70,000 blocks here, and on the frog we have 43,000. So the frog is pretty compact, and it does actually cost less than it's allowed to. We have a run 150,000 cost less than we need to have. So we're gonna check out what type of weapons they have a little bit quickly before we get into the battle. So looking at the armor of the Quetzal, this costs like the max limit basically, and it has a firepower that's mostly APS and somewhat cram focused, or it's actually pretty equal, half APS, half cram. So you can see here this is a one-sider, what is it, port side of the ship is very thin. We have really min-maxed wood shell there. It basically has no armor there. And as you can see here on the right side, we got also some pretty min-maxed armor. We have just a super thin sheet of this block, which is the 4-meter offset. This is, I think, is the only block that's 5 meters long. Which means that it has a 25% health bonus instead of the 20% health bonus we get with a 7-meter, with the 4-meter beams, I mean. Well, we got the very thin layer here, probably some space to detonate stuff. We got some shields, of course, thin layer of wood, and then we have like the armor, which is just a thin sheet of metal and alloy. It's basically unarmored. It has wings in the bottom, so it's technically a hydrofoil. We are running with a lot, well, we're having turrets along the entire side here, but that's the cut through. I'm gonna switch the cut through from left to right. So you can see here that the front of the ship, well, it's very quick, this thing. Well, we can't see it right here, but I think I remember it as pretty quick. What's interesting about it is that we have a lot of the turrets, they're actually underwater. So we have one turret on top here and one turret underwater. So we're gonna check out the different turrets we got here. Gonna begin with the front-facing turrets here. We have 100 millimeter. This is a pretty big one, so we can expect a... oh, this is actually a sieve system. Heavy head, solid warhead, and we got a base bleeder. The pretty inaccurate sieves. I do suspect this sieves cannon does come with a secondary local weapon controller as well. So it will be able to shoot at incoming vessels. All in one sieves controller. And this is... oh! Well, maybe it does, but I don't see it, so... whoa, that's a weird... oh yeah, the turret angle limitation is of course set up so that it does not aim to the left of itself, because of course that would not make sense. If we look at the cram cannons here, you can see we have a mostly frag, some high explosive. And I don't know if they are all the same. This is probably so. You can see the shell health is pretty high, about 13,000, no, 139,000, right? No, is that? Yeah, that's right. So that's about the health that the Gimle has for its. This also looks like a sieve system. I don't know if it is. Maybe we're trying to max out the RPM here to maybe take advantage of the max... Oh, I recognize this turret. Well, the max shells in the air. This is, of course, the Vigoletta Marksman. I find it a very good design. This is a turret I made, by the way. Can be found on the Gimle. Or if you're a commissioned officer, you can, of course, access it. 67mm. I think it's probably the same shell here, yeah. Of course it is. It's the Sabot frag. Should not be good, but happens to be. Yeah, we got 2 Vigolettas, and then we have cram cannons behind there. Underneath we find... Wait, what? Is this a cram cannon? I didn't realize the cram cannons were put underneath as well. That's a bit surprising, actually. I never tried to shoot crams from below itself, but I don't know, maybe... Did it rise up? Because if you look at this APS cannon, it has an emergency ejection defuse, of course, but it does not have... That's surprising, it does not have super cavs. So super cavs is what you generally want to... Oh, I just realized this is an airship. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I forgot that this is an airship. Could we check that before we started the battle? Yeah, so this is of course set up to be an airship. Yeah, I just missed that little detail. We also have some casemates, yeah, and that's the Quetzal. So let's look at the Frog. And by the way, just see the size difference between the Quetzal and the Frog. The Frog is a pretty compact design. So here at the Frog we got the fuel blocks, and we have a firepower that's more cram and APS as secondary. So here we can see the shell health here is almost 300,000. It will be much harder to shoot these down. We got a different mix here, so we got a frag type of setup here. This as well. We can actually look at them too if we see the damage there, but it's easier to check here. This is an incendiary. And this one is a frag. Okay, so we got mostly frags, some incendiaries, and we got some backup, like simple weapon AA guns. Why in the world? They're just expensive, but I guess they look cool. All right, this has some pretty interesting APS cannons going on here. We have a... this is an is this the anti-air railgun or AAY? So we got a railgun, we got a pure rail. This deals insane damage. We got some frag spammers too. We're gonna check out the other guns. I wonder why this like barrel is skewed. We don't have any underneath. We got a central cannon here, which is a Sabot frag. This is of course a rail assist extreme penetrator Sabot head. This is just the the Arcaballista gun on the Gimle, which you'll should have seen if you've seen the other battles. Otherwise, do look at them. And we got some frag spammers here, which is of course slow. Oh, this is EMP spam. And this one is frag spam, I would suspect them. I guess they'll switch or something. Or where does the frag spam shoot from? I can't see that barrel. Maybe it's not used. Well, we're gonna see in the battle shortly, because of course with bread you can make him switch automatically. Yeah, so let us get to the battles then. Having some interiors here, which is nice on the Frog. This video is sponsored by GMODISM. Like the video! Thank you! Alright, so let's get off with the battle here. We got the Quetzal flying up higher than the altitude I spawned it at. Ooh, it is unloading shells here. Interesting. If it looks a bit weird with the trails and stuff I set up the settings a little bit so it will lag less. So that's why the trails for the shells are shorter, because apparently that increases FPS. And we have full game speed, so obviously this and the low distance rendering does work quite well. If you want me to make a tutorial of how to set up battles to lag less, do tell me. I can fix that. Anyways, the frog is definitely not in the lead here, firing the crams. She is, but they get intercepted. See if this one gets intercepted too. Oh yeah, those kinetics are not a joke. Should really need some higher health for those cram shells to get through here. The Quetzal is of course very well set up to deal with incoming shells. We have laser detonated frag there in the back, so it's still able to deal damage, but you can see the Quetzal is already having a lead of almost 10%. Let's see if we get the next volley. No. That's maybe it detonated because it hits the block in the back there. That's reasonable. Oh my, 85%. The frog is having a froggy day. Okay, wow. The Quetzal. We can just pause the game here. You can see these little tiny sabos we are drilling through here. Shells come in, the crams pop in, make big explosions. Well, the frog is not having the best of days here, oh no. Look at that, 82%. Well, the Quetzal definitely dominates the first battle. I don't see it turning around anytime soon. Quetzal may be one of the stronger designs submitted, period. It's gonna be very interesting to see. We got some missiles here, of course, from the frog as well. I don't know what they are doing. They seem to be a little bit deranged, but considering the damage the frog has taken, this may not be extremely surprising. Bam, getting intercepted. Those sieves there do a good job. The Vigoletta marksmen are happily shooting. Well, the Quetzal is having a really good day, and the frog is the sadder frog. The saddest frog ever. I think it's AI killed. I think the AI died. Did it not? Because it's just despawning, even though we are not at despawning territory. But now we are. Well, let's move on to the next battle, see if the frog was lucky, or if it's just the dead in the water. Alright, next battle here. I set up, I turned on color post processing. So we're gonna see the game speed is still 1, so we seem to be able to handle that with the new settings. Maybe slows us down a little bit. I also increased the ambient lighting so we get a little bit of a happier colors here. The Quetzal is... wow. We are doing some quite interesting strafe actions. Just move around the frog. The frog is desperately trying to turn, but obviously due to this angle, some of the cram cannons do not get the opportunity to shoot, and the shells of the Quetzal are higher than what the frogs seem to be able to deal with. The cram shells, that is. You can see we're trying to engage them, but we do not. The frog is definitely so much weaker. Wow, the Quetzal really dominates this thing. Now, my memory fails me. I don't remember if Frog or Quetzal, which is like a earlier design and which is a later design. I don't remember. I can say, however, that the Frog does have like a very well engineered and thought out like visual design, and the Quetzal feels a little bit min-maxed in a way. It's like parts of it are super beautiful and other parts of it is a little bit industrial, so to speak, with the big like block areas here. But I think the pattern made here with the 4 meter offsets, that's actually 5 meters in total, but yeah, look pretty neat. But we can see on the turrets, we seem to lack a fleet color on the turrets here. Oh, bam. The Frog is down to 87%. Yeah. I'm sure Imp will be very sad for the loss. I'm just kidding. Imp is the builder of both these ships, so I guess Imp will be very happy that the Quetzal gets the win. I'm happy that the Vigoletta marksmen are on such a impressive and valiant design like the Quetzal. So if the Quetzal wins the entire tournament, I can at least say I designed a turret. Well, I like these little propeller bases here in the back. They look pretty fun, but in the front here, I think that gives a neat little vibe. Oh my, what's going on here? Ugh. As I'm just moving away and, you know, pausing the game, I realized that the Frog is like already despawning. This is one of the quicker battles ever. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna see if 2 Frogs can beat the Quetzal. Oh, there we have it then. The third little battle. Anyhow, what I should not forget is, of course, big thanks to the commissioned officers of the Army of GMODISM. Commodore Owen, Captain Shiro, Commander Ben Wilkie, Delphin, Lieutenants Anto, Cravey, First Dragon, Josef Ishovsky, Parbag Reed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Proel, Scooby Rocks, and all our cadets. Also big thanks to everyone in the ecclesiarchy of GMODISM and in the government of GMODISM. All of your monthly support does help the channel a lot, of course. And, well, help me pay the internet bills and electricity, I suppose, is relevant. I don't know. I don't think my laptop is that power hungry. My old desktop PC definitely was. In any case, big thanks for all of your continued support. And if you want to support the channel monetarily, well, you got the options in the description. But I would very much like if you did like the video, if you enjoyed it. That does, of course, help a lot as well. The Quetzal is at 96%. And this battle doesn't really matter very much because the Frog has already lost and the Quetzal has already won. So the Frog will be continuing its journey in the loser's bracket. If it dies again, it will be eliminated. Oh, we have some nasty fires here. The incendiary shell there from the Frog really caused some havoc here. Oh my, look at that. The Quetzal is a lot behind here. This amount of cram shells seem to be too much. Wow, I actually thought the Quetzal would dominate 2 Frogs as well. But alas, this is not the case. It seems. We shall see, the battle is not over yet. We're having this last battle just to see how strong the Quetzal is, but also to not make it very easy to guess the outcome of the battle by looking at the time bar. It's a boring way to spoil yourself if you want to have the you know, tension up. That's one of the reasons we also always do a third battle, even if we already have the results. Well. 92% and 95%. By the way, you suggested that I make some changes to the web page. So I've done some changes to the web page now. So hopefully those things that were missing kinda is now not missing anymore, and that it looks better. So please go to GMODISM.com and check out the site. I will say that GMODISM.com looks a lot better on the like desktop or a pad, and it looks not as good on a like phone. I tried to make it look decent on a phone, but it's kind of impossible. I have so weird animations and stuff, it just doesn't cooperate 100% on mobile. And I guess most people will be checking it out on desktop. So please, by all means, check it on your phone as well. I realized it looks a lot different between like Android and iOS and stuff. So that's helpful too, of course. But unlike your PC, go to GMODISM.com and just check it out there. By the way, all of the decals for the Army of GMODISM are hosted on GMODISM.com, so you can take the links to those images and paste them in the hologram projectors in from the depth. And then you'll be able to project AOG imagery in the game, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know. We had them on Imgur before, but, well, I don't know. Somebody mass reported our Imgur account for no reason, and thus the collection got banned, and I didn't want to re-upload them to update all the links because that's labor intensive. So I thought I want to have a final solution, and thus I decided I'm gonna self-host all the imagery on my own website. So screw you, Imgur. Well, I guess you can't expect too much from a free website. I contacted support, of course, but no. Okay, GMODISM, stop complaining, Eric. Stop complaining. You already complain about this so much. Well, the battle is evening out, to be honest. The Quetzal at 92%. While the frogs, they're at like combined health 88%. Which is of course a lot more than the Quetzal, but it seems that they have lost like accuracy or something. They are not as competent at shooting this thing anymore. I don't see it taking much more damage. You know what? I think it looks like the frogs will not be able to beat the Quetzal after all. They got some lucky shots there in the beginning, landing one of those incendiary cram shells, doing insane damage to the Quetzal, but, well, 8%. But it seems that they no longer do this. Well, who knows? We'll see how this will develop, but of course the results are already set, of course. This is just for our enjoyment, to see if the Quetzal is that much better than the frog. Or just a reasonable amount of a lot better. Since both ships are damaged a little bit, feels like the battle slowed down a bit, but the game speed is still 95%, so we are not lagging by any means. Oh! We got a frog sinking. I saw it collecting penalty points there. Well, at 30, it's a gunner, which means that the there is one frog left, and that it's at 84% and the Quetzal being at 92, I think we can be pretty sure that the Quetzal indeed is dominating two frogs, no issue at all. Very impressive imp, the Quetzal. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of it in the tourney. It's gonna be able to evade a lot of the more evasive crafts, I think, especially if they rely on missile and the cram. It's gonna be interesting to see how it will do against something like the broadsword if they ever meet, because the broadsword is one of our strongest designs indeed. Well, the other frog is closing in on very sad percentages, as you can see here. It's about to despawn, nothing more to see there. I suspect its AI may be gone. Taking a quick little look at the Quetzal, you can see it has been able, thanks to the active defenses, to avoid a lot of the damage here, and it still is decently intact if you ignore this little smaller break in the hull. Well, good it's not the helium ship, because then it would leak. Well, battle concluded. What a battle! ISF Frog versus ISF Quetzal. Who's the winner? I'm pretty sure it's Imp. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and big thanks to all in the ecclesiarchy, the government of GMODISM, and decommissioned officers. You in the ecclesiarchy could see this video as early access, so I hope you did enjoy that. In any case, check out the GMODISM channel for more battles, which you probably want to know if you didn't know that already. In any case, this is your host Eric of GMODISM, and I'm signing out. See our Patreon community too if you don't know about that. It can be smart if you want to get in on future challenges. Yes, stop rambling GMODISM, it's embarrassing.